George R.R. Martin is writing again about everything except for the Winds of Winter. Let's check out his Not a Blog. Hey everybody, welcome to Sporking News Podcast. My name is Scott. We'll get into it. If you like what you hear, or not even, just subscribe. Like, share, comment, all that good stuff. But yeah, George R.R. Martin, Not a Blog. We're back with another post from Not a Blog. This was on March 9th. So that was yesterday. And George, let's just say George was a little ornery at the beginning of this. So we're going to take a look at it. And I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So comment below afterwards. But this is what George had to say. Random updates in Bito news. I look around and I don't know where 2021 went. I blinked and it was gone. Not a year that I am going to mourn much any more than 2020, a global pandemic, so many deaths, including friends of mine, as well as celebrities of all sorts. Politics grown increasingly toxic. It was a year best forgotten. I did, however, get a lot of work done in 2021, an enormous amount of work. In truth, I seem to have an enormous number of projects. I am not complaining. I like working, writing, editing, producing. There is nothing I like better than storytelling. Okay. All right. So first off, George is involved in a lot of projects, and more so recently, he has been honest about it. Okay. In times past, he would say, I really don't have a lot to do with that one. My focus is Winds of Winter. So up front, he's telling you he has a lot of projects. That kind of worries me. Second, yes, George is an older gentleman. He's 74 years old this year, and he lost quite a few friends. One just recently, I think January, who was a carbon copy of George, but like 66 years old. So I understand George has been going through a lot. A lot of his older friends are starting to pass away. So that I will not attack a man on. Mourning is very tough. But you're also a professional. I have lost people in my life, and guess what? I still got to go to work. So he goes on. I know for many of you out there, only one of those projects matters. I am sorry for you. I'm going to read that one more time. I am sorry for you. They all matter to me. Okay. So I am sorry for you. That's not like I am sorry, or I understand. I am sorry that this is kind of bad for you guys. But really what he's saying there's, I'm sorry for you. Like, you're wasting your time. That's how I read it. That's how quite a few people read it last night on my stream, The Dump, Wednesday nights and Saturday nights. I'll put a link somewhere up here about last night's show. They all matter to me. I understand, George, that they all matter to you. They are your pet projects. They're your career. They're your legacy. But there is one that if you do not finish, will change your legacy forever. And I don't understand why he doesn't get that. But I think he gives us a hint below. Yes, of course, I am still working on the Winds of Winter. I have stated that hundreds of times in hundreds of venues. Having to restate it endlessly is just wearisome. I made a lot of progress on Winds in 2020 and less in 2021, but less is not none. Oh my God. Do you hear what he's saying? He didn't do much. So if we take what he had left over from a Dance of Dragons, he had probably 600 pages of manuscript written, which would maybe get down to half or pages, I'm guessing, words. Half of that would probably end up in a book. And in 2020, he seemed to be really rolling. I am guessing he is not halfway through the Winds of Winter, which I thought it was probably already completed. I have said that on numerous streams. I have told people that think I'm crazy for thinking we're getting both books, that we're not even getting Winds. I'm starting to believe they might be right. The Winds of Winter, Dance with Dragons came out in release date was, and I'm going to tell you right now, sorry, I don't edit. It was released by George R.R. Martin, and that release date was July 12th, 2011. That is July 12th, 2011. So are we bad people for wanting something that we've been looking forward to for over a decade? I don't know. On that date, let's just look. July 12th, 2011. What happened on July 12th, 2011? Let's see. A lot of stuff. A president was Barack Obama. Gas was definitely less than it is right now. You know, how long ago was that? 10 years, 7 months, and 29 days. It was the Chinese Zodiac, the rabbit. You know, like, it was so long ago that I couldn't tell you what movies came out then. That was pre George Lucas selling Lucasfilm to Disney. Like, that's how long ago this was, people. So for him to tell us that he's made less and less is not none, it tells me that this is the last thing on his mind. And we're going to read into that going a little ahead. The world of Westeros, the world of A Song of Ice and Fire, is my number one priority and will remain so until the story is told. Stop right there. The world of Westeros was never your number one priority. You always told us the Winds of Winter was your number one priority. And the world came next. Yes, I understand it's in the world, so you're kind of lumping it in there, but you changed the wording so that this book is not your number one priority. A Song of Ice and Fire is not your number one priority. He goes on, but Westeros has become bigger than the Winds of Winter, or even A Song of Ice and Fire. In addition to Winds, I also need to deliver the second volume of Archmaester Gildane's history, Fire and Blood. None of us asked for this. None of us asked for this. So why do we need the second one? And the sad thing is, hold on, got a couple hundred pages of that one written, but there's still a long way to go. He told us he wouldn't even put this out until the Winds of Winter came out. And now he has a couple hundred pages of volume 2. Guess what? This one was mostly written, everybody. Mostly written. The Rogue Prince, the Princess and the Queen, Maegor's stuff was all written, with the fight with the, oh God, not the Maesters. You know who I'm trying to say. I'm so flustered. I'm sorry. He only had to add in a quarter more new stuff and fluff up a couple other things. So that book wrote itself. And now he's working on Fire and Blood. We don't need that. Think of calling it Blood and Fire rather than FMB Volume 2. I don't care. None of us wanted it. Got a couple hundred pages of that, so we read that. I need to write more of the Dunk and Egg novellas. Love those. I would love them after the Winds. Tell the rest of their stories, especially since there's a television series about them in development. Okay, right there. That tells you why he's not working on the Winds. Okay, and there's more about the Dunk and Egg below, but just remember that. That is telling you why he's not working on the Winds. And I'll get back to the Dunk and Egg thing in a minute. There is a lavish coffee table book coming later this year, an illustrated condensed version of Fire and Blood, done with Elio Garcia and Linda Antonsen. I'm sorry if I screwed up your name. My partners on the world of Ice and Fire, so they could be working on that mostly by themselves. They are fantastic. They are like his encyclopedia when it comes to A Song of Ice and Fire. So I have no problem with that. And my Fire River art director, Rhea Golden. And another book after that, a Who's Who in Westeros, and that's just the books. I don't give a shit about Who's Who in Westeros. There are also the successor shows. Those have taken a ton of my time and attention this year. I have seen some comments out there questioning how much I am involved in these new series. The answer is a lot. Bold, a lot. He is throwing that in our faces. Deeply, heavily involved in every one of the new shows. It's my world. And while I have been working closely with some fantastic writers and showrunners, ultimately it is up to me to try to keep the canon, canonical, and to do all I can to help make the new shows great. And I love these stories. Again, remember Dunk and Egg. So far, I am very excited. The House of the Dragon has wrapped in London and is now in post-production. What I have seen, I have loved. I am eager to see more. I am excited about the other successor shows as well. However, I am dying to tell you all about them, but I am not supposed to, so ... Well, maybe there's a few things I can tell you. Things that HBO has previously announced or hinted at, or ... We are developing a live action show for HBO and animated shows, both of them shows for HBO Max. No, can't tell you how many, but it is my hope that number of these shows will get on air. That all depends on House of the Dragon. Not all, no, it is never all, but more than one. I certainly hope so. Some of the ideas we are working on are quite different in tone and approach than what has gone before. And that thrills me. The world of Westeros, Essos, etc. is huge. There's room in it for many types of stories about a wide range of characters. What can I tell you? Well, let's see. Bruno Heller, the creator and showrunner of Rome, fantastic guy, is writing his pilot script for Corleos, I always say his name, Valerian series. He's the sea snake. That one started out as 9 voyages, but now we're calling it the Sea Snake, since we want to avoid having too many shows with numbers in the title. The other one, 10,000 Ships, the Nymeria series, which I'm telling you, I would enjoy all of these if the books came out. Amanda Siegel, our showrunner, has delivered a couple drafts of this one, and we are forging ahead. The third of the live action shows is the Duncan Egg series, helmed by Steve Conrad. My team and I have had some great sessions with Steve and his team, and we really hit it off. He is determined to do a faithful adaptation of the stories, which is exactly what I want. These characters and stories are very precious to me. The first season will be an adaptation of the first novella, The Hedge Knight. Contrary to what you may have read online, the show will not be called Duncan Egg, which could be mistaken for sitcom by viewers unfamiliar with the stories. We're leaning towards A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms for the series title, though The Hedge Knight has its partisan as well. Partisans, I'm sorry, I can't read. So, the Duncan Egg, that is the one. So, I believe that the Duncan Egg has most of his attention right now over anything else, because he does not want another story coming out that he hasn't finished the books for. Now think about Fire and Blood 2, okay, F&B 2, or Blood and Fire Volume 2, and Duncan Egg will talk about Summerhall. It will talk about Egg's leadership during his time as king, how they die at Summerhall. All that information is very, very important to the Winds of Winter. So my fear is that the things we've been waiting for to answer in the Winds of Winter, he will answer in these books first, ruining what would have happened in A Dream of Spring and the Winds of Winter, because he doesn't care about those books anymore. He wants to finish Duncan Egg so that the writing team and the series will not get ahead of him like Game of Thrones got ahead of him. And we all saw what happened when you get ahead of a master writer. You get you get Dan and Dave. Dumb and Dumber. Okay? You saw, just take Tyrion as a character from season 1 to season 8. Dumber and Dumber ruined him. So I believe that is where his focus is at. He can care less right now about the Winds of Winter. Over on the animated side, well, I'm not allowed to talk about most of what's happening, except to say that things are moving very fast, and I love some of the concepts art I am seeing. And wait, come to think of it, the news leaked several months ago that one of the animated shows would be set in Yi-Ti. That's true. I want to see it, guys. I am not a George R.R. Martin hater. You can ask Nerdrotic, Jane Theory, any of these people. I love George R.R. Martin. I defend him way too much, but I am sick that we are not going to get the Winds of Winter. I am admitting now that we are definitely not getting A Dream of Spring. I am holding fast that we will get a Winds of Winter, and at least I could do breakdowns of that when it first came out, which I've dreamed of. One of the reasons I made my YouTube channel. Our working title is The Golden Empire, and we have great young writers on that one too. And I think the art and animation is just going to be beautiful. I would tell you more if I could. I don't think I could. I can say a word about the animated shows not yet. So there's a lot going on. Yeah. And House of the Dragon is coming soon. That's what you will see first. And me, I will continue to work with the writers and showrunners and directors and producers on all these shows. Plus Roadmarks for HBO, Dark Winds for AMC, and the wild cards for UCP and Peacock. And A Night of the Cooters should be finished this month. And in addition to all that, let me say one again. Yes, I am still working on the Winds of Winter. I think you gave up. Okay? And today, this is what he drops for us. Just a bunch of frogs. Things are hopping. Okay, George, you told us that the Winds of Winter was always your priority. And now you have flipped the script and said that the world is your priority. This is you skating away from the promise you gave us. And I know there's going to be massive defenders out there, and you probably won't even watch this long. So let me say this to you. I understand how you feel. I feel the same way. I love George R. R. Martin. I love his books. In the stories he tells, he is a master at this art. He is a master wordsmith, describer. You feel like you're in the world. George R. R. Martin gave me the joy of reading, which I never had as a kid. Okay, so I can never say thank you enough to him for that. But what I can say is, George, if you finish The Winds of Winter, you will go down as one of the greatest fantasy writers of all time. I mean, you will be on the Mount Rushmore of fantasy writers. Do you understand that? Do you understand that you will be up there in the same breath as Tolkien? You kind of are right now, but what you will be known as, if you don't finish the books, as the biggest failure in high fantasy or fantasy writer of all time. People won't care about how many shows you created, because guess what? Those are created with other people. When it comes to the books, those are your books. So before Dunk and Egg, which I can't wait to see them go to Winterfell, before any of this, before Fire and Blood, who none of us asked for a volume 1, not even a volume 2, please finish The Winds of Winter. Let me know if you guys made it all the way through. Thank you. Let me know in the comments section down below. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm being too hard? Not hard enough? Do you think we'll get the wins? Please comment. It helps the algorithm, and subscribe. And to my channel members, thank you guys. We're over 50 channel members, and you really support this channel more than you'll ever know. Have a great day, everybody.